Hey! This is the second part of my Melty Blood Systems tutorial. In this one, we'll be breaking down all things related to offense. This topic does somewhat go into the use of Magic Circuit and Moon Gauge, but a detailed explanation of those systems will be discussed in a different video. Additionally, I'd like to point out now that these tutorials will only be an attempt to explain game systems to the best of my abilities, and will generally not be going over things such as strategies, tactics, and option selects. This game is classified as an anime fighter. As such, when normal attacks connect, they can cancel or chain into other normal attacks and special moves when they hit the opponent, with very few exceptions. This is nearly the opposite of games such as Street Fighter, where normal attacks must be linked into each other, and the ability to cancel is somewhat specific and rare. Those who are used to Street Fighter may have some difficulty transitioning over to Melty Blood. Normal moves can be cancelled both from weaker strength normals into stronger strength ones, and vice versa. Like many other recent anime fighters, Melty Blood Type Lumina has its own auto combo system titled Rapid Beat. If you press the same attack button several times, you will automatically perform a combo. This can be A, B, or C. Universally, rapid beats on the ground end with an attack that launches the opponent, and rapid beats in the air end with a throw that will knock the opponent down. Even if you chain different attack buttons, you can still enter the rapid beat combo sequence by pressing any of the attack buttons you have already used. However, this restriction resets whenever you re-enter a neutral state. Once you've initiated a rapid beat sequence, it can no longer be cancelled into other normals, even if there are normals you have yet to use in your current combo sequence. Grounded rapid beats also have very respectable range and are fast to chain into, causing them to be very reliable confirms for damage. If you use your A attack and it does not hit your opponent, you can still cancel into your B normals, C normals, special attacks in your rapid beat combo sequence. Your A attacks can also cancel into themselves if you press them very quickly, so in order to make sure you chain into your rapid beat and not another A attack, make sure you delay the second A press just a little bit. Also, with relation to your A normal, it is your only normal that you can cancel into shield on hit, whiff, or block. Relating back to whiff cancel, if you miss a special move, you are still allowed to cancel it into an EX Edge, Arc Drive, or Moon Drive during the attack's active frames. This does not apply to special attacks that are invincible, however. This behavior is very similar to Kara cancel, for those familiar with the concept, but it is much more universal. Sometimes, when you and your opponent are attacking each other, you will both throw out an attack that collides with each other. This will cause a unique and very noticeable visual and audio sound effect, and will freeze the screen for a while. Once the freeze ends, both players can cancel the move they were using into any other move they would ordinarily be able to cancel it into. There doesn't appear to be any rules or restrictions on what moves can clash with each other. Do keep in mind, however, that neutralization only occurs when the attack's hitboxes connect with each other. If two players throw out an attack and they hit each other, without their attack's hitboxes hitting each other, both players will simply be hit by each respective attack. This is usually referred to as a trade. When you successfully hit an opponent with a normal attack, you can cancel it into a jump. This also applies to mid-air jumps and air dashes for aerial moves. Kuma is a notable exception to this aerial cancel rule. Grounded normals cannot be jump cancelled if they are blocked, but aerial attacks can still be mid-air jump and dash cancelled. Certain moves that launch the opponent will automatically cause your character to jump towards them. Be mindful not to attempt to jump when these moves happen, or you may waste your mid-air jump on accident. Whenever any attack lands, it naturally deals damage to the opponent. However, in this game, two types of damage are dealt. One type of damage, which I will call true damage, directly decreases your opponent's HP count. The other type of damage, which I will call gray damage, reduces a secondary health meter which affects how much HP the opponent can regenerate from heat. Every attack has varying values of how much true damage and gray damage they deal, but it appears as though your gray health can never be reduced below your actual health. A fairly universal mechanic in fighting games, special attacks of all varieties will deal light damage to the opponent even if guarded. This damage can never be used to knock out the opponent. Chip damage appears to never reduce gray health, so all chip damage done can be recovered through the effects of heat. Very notably, Shikitono does chip damage on all of his normals with Chuse's knife, but the rest of the cast does not do chip damage with any of their standard attacks. Certain attacks can have their attack button held down to charge the move, changing their properties. Type Lumina has decided to give these charge moves a fancy name called Blowback Edge. If you take a look at the Blowback Edge list in the command list and are wondering what it means, it refers to the set of moves that can be charged to modify their effects. When you attack your opponent while their move is starting up, it will result in a counter hit. The opponent will stand frozen in place for a few seconds from the shock of the counter hit before entering their usual hit stun animation. This essentially gives you slightly more time to react to the hit and confirm the combo. The counter hit freeze applies to the hit that scored the counter. Therefore, multi-hitting attacks will not grant the increased hit stun on the final hit. If you score a fatal counter, done by counter-hitting an opponent's aerial attack, or attacking an opponent's shield where it is not protecting the defender, this freeze animation lasts longer. Additionally, when done on an airborne opponent, they lose the ability to recover in the air and must touch the ground to recover. Multi-hitting attacks will apply this increased air recovery time on the final hit. Scoring a fatal counter by throwing the opponent causes the respective throw to deal more damage. This also applies to command throws, but the actual damage increase is dependent on the throw used. Certain attacks, such as 3C, certain rapid beats, and certain EX edge attacks will fix the opponent's location relative to your character when they connect to an airborne opponent. This likely has been programmed into the game so that certain combo sequences are easier or guaranteed to connect. Certain attacks and throws will knock your opponent a far distance, preventing you from following up unless you expend some resources. However, if they collide with the wall of the battlefield before they can recover, they are slammed into the wall and must take a bit longer to recover. This can enable you to pick up some combos you would otherwise not be able to if your enemy is in the corner. Certain attacks and throws will cause your opponent to plant into the ground without being able to stand up for a while, especially if it's early on in the combo. If you attack your opponent while they're on the floor, you can hit them up off the ground and continue comboing them for a bit more damage, although the damage will be heavily reduced and you can no longer launch them. This can also be possible if your opponent chooses not to recover when hitting the floor when they were otherwise able to. If you have the training dummy set to recover as soon as possible, it can be a useful way to figure out what combos work and which ones do not. However, if you have this disabled, there is another way to tell. The combo counter that shows your combo will turn gray if you land a hit in a combo that your opponent should have been able to protect. Certain characters, once they have ended a combo with an air throw, will still have access to any movement options they did not use before the air throw. However, they must use a mid-air jump to regain access to their air dash if it hasn't been used. If you already used your mid-air jump in your combo, then you must land on the ground once you've ended your combo with an air throw. This isn't a strictly offensive-related system, but this game features a buffer window, meaning that if you input a command when you are unable to do so, such as while you are standing up from a knockdown, this game will attempt to cue that move and then execute it as soon as you are able to, if you input it close to the correct timing. I am not yet aware of the exact amount of time you have to buffer commands, but if the information becomes available, it will be added to the description of this video. Very notably, shield can be held down in order to execute it as soon as you stand up following a knockdown. For those seeking to deal the highest damage combos, something you must know about is proration, or scaling. This is a hidden value attached to every attack that influences how much damage your combo does, and how soon your opponent can escape from it as it gets longer and longer. When you are stringing together moves for a combo, the proration value of the current hit gets added to the running total, and the amount of damage that hit does is calculated after that proration value has been added. Different attacks have different proration values, and it's a good idea to experiment with the various moves that a character has to determine which ones will scale your combo the least. For example, the hit of the rapid beat that occurs before the launcher has a fairly high proration value, which causes the hits after it to do much less damage. This is unconfirmed, but it is extremely likely that using the same attack in a combo adds another hidden same move proration value, which means that if you try to spam an attack over and over again in a combo, the damage and the opponent's recovery time scale much faster than if you used unique moves. This is a subtle means of preventing infinite combos and combo loops that repeat the same move over and over again. While normal attacks, special moves, and EX edges can scale their damage infinitely low, arc drives will always deal a minimum of 40% of their maximum damage. It also does appear as though EX edge attacks are less affected by scaling than normals or special moves, but I'm not sure by how much. Those who are familiar with older versions of Melty Blood may be aware that when cancelling from stronger normals to weaker normals, there is a penalty that reduces the damage of the rest of your combo, and subsequent attacks. But in this game, that damage penalty has been removed. You can cancel any attack into any other attack without any risk of a damage loss for cancelling into weaker moves. That's all for this video. Tune in to the next one where I'll be going over defense.